Today we'll be looking at the angle of elevation and depression. Angle of elevation and depression. We're talking about angle of elevation. We're talking about the angle formed between the horizontal level of the eye and the object you are viewing above. For example, if this is the horizontal level of your eye, you are viewing an object upward. The angle between that horizontal level of your eye and a line connecting that object to your eye is called an angle of elevation. And then whenever you are viewing objects below, the angle between the horizontal level of your eye and that object below is called angle of depression. So whichever way, one of them is going to lead us to what we call the right angle triangle. So a right angle triangle is a special kind of triangle in which one of the three angles is 90 degrees. And in solving any problem related to right angle triangle, it's either you are using the Pythagoras theorem for a problem that involves Pythagoras theorem for a problem that involves the three sides of the triangle, which says that the right angle triangle has this side, the longest side to be called hypotenuse. Then we have the side opposite the angle in question as opposite. Then we also have the third side, which is adjacent. So Pythagoras theorem says that hypotenuse square is equal to opposite square plus adjacent square. That is the Pythagoras theorem. So whenever you have a problem that has to do with the three sides of a right angle triangle, you are going to apply the Pythagoras theorem. But if you have a problem that involves just two sides and an angle, you apply the trigonometric ratio, which are sine, cosine, and then tan. So sine or sine theta is equal to the opposite of the theta, like in this case, the opposite of the angle. The angle is here, the opposite becomes this one. So opposite over hypotenuse, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tan is what? Opposite over adjacent. So these are the three trigonometric ratios that we can use to solve for either side or angle in the right angle triangle. Or a problem that involves just two sides or an angle. So we apply that in solving problem that has to do with angle of elevation and depression. Let's take for example. We have this question here. A man 40 meters away from the foot of a building. So let's start by interpreting the question into a diagram. So a man 40 meters away from the foot of the building, let's assume this is where the man is. And 40 meters away, let's assume this is the foot of the building, 40 meters away. So this is 40 meters. This is the point of observation of the man. And the building is 80, foot of a building 80 meters tall. Observe an object. So the building is 80 meters tall. Let's assume this is 80 meters. So the man observes an object on top of the building. So let's assume this is where the object is. Then we try to connect that object to the man. We find out that it's giving us a right angle triangle. So we have to find the angle of elevation. So the angle of elevation in this case is the theta here. And we are going to use one of the trigonometric ratios to do this because this is a problem that involves two sides and an angle, and the side that we are having here is opposite and adjacent. Therefore, we'll be using tan theta, which is what opposite. Opposite here is 80, all over the adjacent here is 40. So, tan theta will be equal to 80 over 40, which is 2. But it's not tan theta that we need. We need to take the tan inverse of 2. So, therefore, theta will become the tan inverse of 2. And that will be, okay. So that is 63.43. Approximately that is 63 degrees. That is the angle of elevation. That is how to find the angle of elevation. Applying the trigonometric ratio tan, and then we get 63 degrees. That That is the angle of elevation. Command from a top of a pole 50 meter high. So let's assume this is the pole 50 meter high. Observes an object 100 meters from the foot of the pole. Let's assume this is 100 meters from the foot of the pole, and this is where the object is. We are to calculate the angle of depression. The angle of depression now is the angle formed between the horizontal level of the man's eye and the line connecting the eye with the object. So this is the angle here that we are having, theta. And we know that when we have parallel lines, alternate angles are equal. So if I'm having theta here, that means I'm going to be having theta here. And what I'm having now is a right angle triangle. So therefore, theta here, we have opposite, we have adjacent. We are going to be using tan theta to find the opposite 50 over what? Over 100. So we have tan theta to give us 50 over 100, which is 0.5. And to get theta, we'll take the tan to the other side to become tan inverse of 0.5. So we need to take the tan inverse of 0.5. Approximately 27 degrees. So that is the angle of depression. And the angle of depression is also the same thing as the angle of elevation. Assuming the man is here, the angle of elevation is equal to the angle of depression. So this is how to calculate for angle of elevation or angle of depression. And if you are impressed with what we are doing, you can subscribe to this channel. That is the only way of encouraging us. It's 100% free. No monetary attachment to it. And as you do that, God will bless you.